Hey everybody, I'm Beth English, and I'm here today with my friend Sergio Gomez. Hi, Sergio.
Hi, Beth. How are you? And good to all the friends. Good to see you one more time.
Yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm excited to be here with you today. Wednesday is our regular time, sharing all of our ideas about art and community and how to create and market our work. I mean, we cover a lot of topics in these episodes, don't we?
I know. I think so. It's been a while since the pandemic started. I think we've been recording nonstop, and it's just been very fun and also great to see, all our friends also engaging and sending us comments and ideas. So that's awesome.
Yeah, this is our 24th video, if you can believe it.
Wow, I haven't been counting, but I'm glad you are because that is pretty good. We gotta celebrate our 25th one. I think that would be really awesome.
Okay, well, we'll do that next time. Today's topic is something I care so much about, and that's following your intuition. And so today we're going to talk about how to use your intuition to make art.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, and that's something that I also value a lot in the way I work.
I know, I love your work, and you have a new virtual show out right now. So I was noticing all of the new works that you have, and knowing you and how your process is, I thought, oh, this topic will be really great to discuss with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see where it goes and what direction the conversation happens to go. But yeah, it's definitely something that I really value and enjoy. Yeah.
Something I've been talking about with my audience and friends online watching these videos is how to use your intuition to make art. A lot of people follow that process who are artists. And then I thought, well, this is something that we definitely need to share just from my own practice and perspective. And so if you have some tips of your own, we'd love for you to leave them in the comments and let us know. But when it comes to following your intuition, to me, it's just like getting connected to your sense of knowingness. And a lot of times we already have that connection, but we don't trust ourselves. And so for a lot of what I think following your intuition requires is a process of learning how to trust yourself. Do you feel like you have trouble with that when you're opening yourself up to create?
I think it's the normal tendencies, particularly like right now, right? I just finished a new body of work. So once I was going into it, it was easier to jump from one piece to the next because you were in the flow. The first piece taught me how to get to the second piece and the third within that series. So now that it's over and I get back in the studio, that's when that sets in. It's like the uncertainty, the feeling of, I don't know if this is going to be good as the last one. So all that sets in. Yeah, definitely.
So one thing that I do when I am wanting to connect to my intuition is I first create an environment of openness. And what that means is in my body, I am feeling open. I'm opening up my energy. Maybe I'm doing that through breath work. Maybe I'm doing that through exercise or dancing. I think like when you move your body around, like you can start to feel your energy flowing. And I think that's a really important piece to starting to open up yourself to receive, which is my next point. But I wanted to talk to you about like, what do you do to kind of create your openness practice?
Which is something that I just did actually the day before yesterday. I just went into my studio and cleaned up, because after a series, my studio is a mess and I don't want to clean it while I'm in the series. So to me, kind of like I cannot start the next thing until I have kind of completed the whole cycle, which includes cleaning up, making new space. I actually did an Instagram story of my empty walls and everything reorganized. I moved tables to a different spot. I put chairs in a different place to kind of like that, set up the stage, set up the environment to be ready for, what's coming after.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, opening up the space in your environment, but also within yourself. And so, like, I know that I want to be aware of whether my energy, it feels like it's expanding or contracting. And so when we have that awareness of where we are in our bodies, I think that's going to open up our minds to be able to receive that insight or that intuition as to what to do next. And so if you're creating that open space, right, you're preparing your physical space or your emotional space or your mental space to be open, then you're ready to start receiving. And so there has to be also a receiving practice. And this is something that I really love to do, whether it's with a gratitude journal or through meditation. It's like I've taken all this openness and now I'm trying to bring it in with some intentional focus as far as like how and what I want to receive. How does that sit with you?
I think that sounds very good. I haven't tried that specifically as kind of part of my art practice, but I love that idea, that concept. I think that's very good. I'm gonna give it a try.
Well, another thing that I love to teach is how to activate your senses. And so I think this is another part of the receiving process. And that is, finding yourself in a place, asking yourself, what do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? And what that does is it activates your senses, whether it's with, all five. And I think when you open up to your sixth sense, like that magic that I think is between your the intuition and then you being able to receive it. Then what I love to do is to put that into action through trusting yourself. And I think trust looks like action. It looks like listening, and it looks like accepting whatever you're receiving. And so it's important to maybe set some goals, have an accountability partner, someone who can maybe help you along with that journey so that it'll help you trust yourself after you've been open, receiving, and now you have like a vision to move forward, but you can't move forward unless you take action. So tell me about your experience when you're in that place, right? You're uncomfortable. Maybe you are like having to create something new and you're not quite sure what that is yet, but then you have that vision, you have that idea. How do you take that and move forward?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. And as you were talking about that, I was thinking, one of again, referring to the last series that I just finished, there was a point in the series, kind of towards the end, where I kind of got stuck. And I got stuck, and there were a few days in which I just walk in the studio and move stuff around, but I just couldn't put the next stroke. And I think there was too much cloud in my head, and I wasn't able to focus, as you mentioned, and to really being self-aware of all my environment and everything that's going on. So what I did is I spent quite a couple of days on just quietness. I took a kind of a wellness day and didn't do anything. My wife and I, we said, okay, let's do a wellness day today. Let's break all the things that we have to do. And we just spent the whole day in an arboretum that's nearby, in the woods, and then just, very quiet space, really nice. And when I came back in the studio, that really helped me to remove a lot of those voices that were kind of just cluttering my vision for what was next. And after that period, I noticed that it was a lot easier to move forward and take the next stage, because I had already done the wellness work, right, of cleaning up some of this noise that was just getting on the way.
Yeah, I love that story. I also use nature a lot to connect to myself and my spirit and my intuition. And so I think that's like a really perfect solution.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I feel that same stuck feeling, I think we can be really hard on ourselves, and that doesn't make it go away any faster.
Right.
And so I think like just in that moment, even just telling yourself, I trust this process, and knowing that you've done all the things that you've done in the past by trusting yourself. And so I think it's safe to say that knowing what you have to accomplish in the future, you can also trust yourself to do as well. And I think knowing that, like it'll give you that sense of peace, and it'll remove that pressure, I think, that we put on ourselves, which will make the flow of the work just come out that much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I think, it kind of cleans the path or the road or the way for you to take action. Because at the end of the day, part of that self-awareness is taking the action, right? Put the next stroke or do the first line or whatever it is next. And once you do that, it's like, okay, now how do I respond to that and continue it? And not to overthink it, I think, too much. Sometimes we may be second guessing ourselves way too much.
Right. And I think learning to truly trust yourself is going to open up doors for more of your intuition to make an imprint on you. And it's not always easy, because we get sometimes stuck in those situations, but navigating through that, I think by taking the next best step, like you said, and the next best step is how we end up getting through it after all. And even if you don't like the next step, still take it and trust the process, because it's going to lead you to ultimately where you want to go. So.
Right. And
Thanks so much for sharing those stories with us. I think that really helped like bring this conversation to life.
yeah, and what I love about this topic, Brett, is that intuition has nothing to do with your style of working, right? It's not abstract versus representation. It's not really a how it looks, but intuition is really about you in the inside, right? We're willing to find the way for the next step, and that's why I love the topic and the way you present. I think it's just really great. It gives us a framework. Because also intuition sometimes might be perceived as the thing that you do all crazy and like on plan, and actually you're giving us a really nice structure to give space for intuition, which is free in a way.
I think it's that magic of creativity and that each individual person brings their own uniqueness to it. And that's what I want to support with artists, is to believe that their own unique way of viewing the world and expressing themselves is valuable and important. And only they can strengthen that on their own by listening to themselves, having awarenesses, and keeping open, curious mindset, so that whatever is going to come to them is going to go through them effortlessly. And then that will show up in the work, and then the audience will feel that as well. And so that's why I love this topic. But we have run out of time today.
Already.
So I know. Sergio, where can our friends find you online?
Yeah, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, Sergio Gomez Art, and if you want to check out my work and things that I do, follow me on my website at sergiogomezonline.com.
And you guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Beth English, and on my website at bethenglish.com. Well, it's so much fun talking to you today. Remember, we always love hearing from you. Please leave a comment. Please share. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'd love to make a video sometime on a topic that you suggest. So keep them coming.
That would be great. Absolutely. Thank you, Beth. Bye, everybody.
Bye.